EA Sports. It's in the game.
This is EA Sports coverage of the PGA Tour. Hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside my friend and colleague Frank Nobilo. Frank, we've called golf all around the world, but never at a golf course quite like this.
Rich, we've picked a perfect day. It's usually here about 64 people running around, battling it out for domination.
Frank, no leisurely stroll from the clubhouse to the first tee. Like most golf courses, here we go from an aircraft carrier on the first tee.
Yeah, it's a scary little sight trying to take off there on that opening tee shot. Green situated on a little island. 186 yards, though. That's what we've been radioed in, the yardage today.
Oh, looked like he caught a flyer right there, Frank.
Well, I don't know what he caught, but this is way too much.
Wow, lucky break right there, Frank.
Well, that's what everyone else is going to say, except him. It's no snack, though.
Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knocking him for a par, and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but that is going to hurt the cause.
Par for McIlroy, but you're just waiting for that moment when he hits that accelerator and pulls away. Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. So on the putting surface and taking a good look now at this birdie putt here at the second. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus.
Oh, that's off the beaten track. It's got 5 minutes to find it.
Just trying to make clean contact from the rough.
Even par, currently.
Just a shade over par, +1. Oh my goodness, Frank, I have never seen anything quite like this. What in the world's going on?
That's a destroyer, and it's off course, and it's heading straight for the island.
Look out!
Well, we're going to have to send in backup now, Rich. We'll need a drone just to try and find out the exact yardage because that ship now has blocked the view.
Talk about a tough defense setup around a green. This is unlike anything I've ever seen. really good distance control there, playing well to his strengths. This from 7 feet. Frankie took plenty of time on this birdie putt. He looked at it from 3 different angles. He forgot one very important ingredient.
Yeah, pace. You can definitely fall in love with the line, even with approach shots as well, but obviously we see it more on putting.
I mean, think about what you're saying here. I've called golf with you for a long time, Frank, and at bunkers and water hazards. You're talking about solar panels and guard towers. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm starting to go crazy calling this game, Rich. Might have to go into solitary if this keeps up.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid.
Well, it was almost like that's what he wanted to do, but why would you want it to run over the back?
Second shot coming out of the rough here. And he's made the green. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. That is a solid par putt right there. Now the par 3 fifth, and Frank, what can you tell us about this hole?
This green is guarded by the burning destroyer on the left, but that beach area on the right, you're going to need scuba gear if you go on there, so no chance really of making par or getting that ball up and down. Palm trees on the left side of the screen. There is a nice little avenue, but if you're creative, a nice little draw here would be perfect.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
That will be a great look at birdie. Not a gimme, but well within his range. That's a birdie for McIlroy. He's just so explosive. Now up to the 6th tee. We're back against that destroyer. Frank, you need to take it over that small island?
Yeah, once again, you're going to have to pick a very good target in the distance. Now, we know the shared greens at St. Andrews. Well, this is actually a shared green just cut by that little sand path that goes through the middle. This green is shared with the 8th, but still, this is a long par 3, and for some people out there, it'll be a case of ready, aim, and driver.
Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. Frank going for another birdie here.
Just to get on a real roll.
Drops a second birdie for the day. Frank, I don't know if it's legal, but a player might want to get a detailed map from high overhead, maybe from a bomber squadron flying by, just to get an idea of what they're navigating on this hole.
Well, if you can't call one in, you can always go up one of those lookout towers and maybe get a good surveillance of the hole, or even the wind direction. It's not overly long, just under 160 yards. Green sets up nicely, though, directly aiming at the player at the tee.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie.
Frank, this would be huge.
Oh, it's got that strut going, everything. This is when that hole starts to look a little bit bigger. You really feel like you can start to make everything.
Now at the 8th here at Paracel Storm, this is a relatively short hole, but if you notice off to the left, Frank, there is a basketball court, and that allows me the chance to say, from way downtown, yes!
Well, if you miss this green, you might be able to sign up too. There's plenty of barracks. You can just take a left turn, go into there and enlist. But if you want to keep playing, par 3, under 200 yards, and see if you can safely get on deck.
And this is looking really good. Great effort right there, and a great chance to knock in that short putt. Settles in over the putt. Starting to feel it now. 2 straight birdies and 3 under for the round. Frank, it's been a real battle out here so far on the front 9. Let's finish it off in style here.
There's a great view just slightly right of the 9th green. Look out. Now, that's full of people. You might get the appropriate applause, maybe even a standing ovation, at least a salute. 150 yards approximately to that flag, but you have to be precise. And let's see how precise you can be. Well, there's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
Chance to close out the front side here with a birdie.
Rich, I'm starting to lose count. This is just birdie after birdie.
It's all-time stuff. I mean, this is territory we just don't visit very often. Putting a good round together now at 4 under. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back.
Chance for birdie after that beautiful shot. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Now the tiny little 11th hole here at Paracel Storm, Frank.
The scorecard gives it 125 yards, Rich, and we know we're going across the bay there, but really this is an excellent chance to increase that birdie-bogey ratio.
Nice approach shot. He'll be happy with that. Well, Frank, we've heard of lucky sevens. Nothing lucky about this run. This has been spectacular.
Just pure genius out there at the moment. This is something to watch. So, fingers crossed, 7 in a row.
Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie, and what a day it's been.
Rich, this hole really should be called Shipwreck. That little lone island sitting out there, protected by the boulders in front, and well, just enough room really for this green and the tee for the next hole.
241 yards, Frank. This island green makes 17 at TPC Sawgrass look like putt-putt. That one inside of 10 feet, really dialed in. He can really get red hot with a putter. Let's see what McIlroy does.
That looked like it nearly got below the lip, you know, the level of the lip there.
Can't believe that one, Frank. That was a complete horseshoe right there. Just a little tap in here. Did the job right there. Here we are now at the 13th, and Frank, this is a stout-looking hole.
Rich, it certainly is. No time to be superstitious on number 13. The trenches, they protect the back and the right of this green. Anything left of that, time to call in the Navy. You know, this is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. Always found this to be hard, Frank. You're seething, you're just fired up, you just knocked one out of bounds, and you have to kind of put it back together.
Yeah, this one better find the fairway.
So playing the third shot right now after having gone OB. Frank, not close, but from that lie, not bad.
Oh, that's excellent. Seriously, given the conditions, Rich.
Getting set now over the putt. This can be a cruel game at times. Must make this for a double bogey. That puts them at 4 under for the round. Frank, this looks like a green where if things didn't go well, you might find yourself just walking around in a bit of a haze, maybe talking to an old volleyball that washed ashore.
It's almost like a booby trap, Rich. It looks way too easy after some of the other holes we've seen. I've got this sort of sneaking suspicion there's something out there. It just looks like a green, just perched up there with very little trouble around. That's got me thinking there might just be something out there.
Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Starting to move in the right direction. 5 under after that made putt. Frank, in any war zone, the element of surprise is always so critical, and we see that here at the 15th.
Yeah, this green is fortified by the jungle that surrounds it, and just a little feature that you often don't see on a golf course. It's not a bunker in the middle of that green, just a mini forest.
Just a little short shot here. So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot.
Second shot.
Well, that's how you keep a round going, make putts just like that. Frank, coming to the closing stretch here at Paracel Storm in the South China Sea, the 16th hole, you look out over the expanse of this land with those solar panels, the battleships that are ruined. It's pretty evident we're not at Daddy's Country Club, are we?
No, that's for sure. Those solar panels just remind us, too, we've got to conserve energy before we get to the end of the round. Not an overly long par 3, juts out there. Those boulders, well, they really, I don't know if they protect or basically repel anything on that right side. We'll soon find out. The water and the bridge, they're also to be avoided.
Frank, this would jumpstart the round. A third straight birdie.
Some good playing.
Well, you couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Good roll. Solid. That's a par. Now to the 17th hole, and as we come to the end of this round, you salute the players because they're out there carrying not only their golf clubs, but the med kits and the meal packs, because this is no ordinary golf course. You have to be on alert, high guard all the time. Here we go. Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. This one just requires a little bit of focus. 7 under on the day. Frank, the job is almost complete here at the 18th hole, and a good job at that, as we have seen some spectacular golf here at Paracel Storm in the South China Sea.
Just one more battle ahead, the difficult 18th. Should they succeed, then I think they're worthy of a salute.
What a nice shot. Right on the green, and a pretty easy putt on the way. These putts keep the round together. Now 8 under on the day. Frank, you have to like what you saw out there today.
I certainly did. Swing is excellent right now. Stroke, there's nothing wrong with that. Really, just it's a case of getting out of your own way. I mean, the opportunities ahead now, chance to win, just they have to be so motivating.